Nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Chiefskate, and welcome to another episode of Way of the Underhive, your ultimate guide to Games Workshop's gritty and immersive skirmish game, Necromunda. Whether you're brand new to the dark depths of Hive Primus or a veteran looking to sharpen your skills, this series is your go-to resource for mastering all aspects of the game. From gang warfare to campaign strategies, we've got you covered. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please drop them down in the comments below and join us in the conversation. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at playing House Goliath in the depths of Hive Secundus with the brand new Hive Secundus Underhells Campaign that has just recently been released by Games Workshop. Now, I did make a video about the House Goliath gangs earlier, but this video is a little bit more of an update with some of the new rules that came out with the Book of Desolation. So I'm using some of those rules in order to create our starting rosters for this video. And because this video will be a little more of a deeper dive, I will put timestamps in the description box down below so that way you can click and navigate to the part of the video that interests you the most. So that being said, let's talk about playing House Goliath in the Underhells Campaign. So first of all, there's a couple of things you do have to take into consideration when you decide to play in the Underhells Campaign. One of the major issues that a lot of fighters are going to be playing against are going to be visibility challenges. As you descend deeper into the depths of Hive Secundus, the visibility conditions actually worsen. You originally start off with 18-inch visibility, and it drops all the way down to 9-inch visibility by the time you get to the deepest parts of the Underhells Campaign. So because of that, you're going to struggle a little bit with visibility conditions. Now, that's not going to be so much of an issue for House Goliath because House Goliath are masters of close quarters battle, so it's going to actually play to your strengths. But in case you're more of a long range shooting player, it might be a little bit of a problem. Another problem that's also going to be another huge piece of consideration is training as well as recruitment challenges. So Goliaths are actually quite expensive in terms of their fighters as well as the weapons they pack, and that's because they're quite powerful, both the fighters as well as the weapons they use. So because of that, being able to trade and also to be able to reliably recruit your fighters in the Underhells Campaign will be a little bit more of a struggle for House Goliath players. Not to mention insanity conditions are also a huge problem in the Underhells Campaign. Now, you are a little bit better off than most other gangs because you do have a pretty good cool stat, but in terms of willpower though, you might struggle a little bit with the Underhells rules, especially when it comes to the insanity conditions. And then lastly, of course, another key component you have to worry about are roaming horrors. They just a threat that everybody has to deal with in their hive. So, but like I said before, for Goliath, so combat's not much of an issue though, so it actually plays to your strength. So in order to deal with some of these issues that you might run into in the Underhells Campaign, visibility enhancing equipment like photo goggles, infrasights, as well as flares are going to be your best friends in this campaign setting, so that way you can engage your targets at distance. And like I mentioned before, because of the insanity conditions that you have in all aspects of the campaign, your willpower characteristics can be more important than ever before, so that way your fighters don't, jump off of it building or, put themselves in a situation when they might get hurt. And like I said before, because trade and recruitment is a bit of a problem, Goliath gangs are really going to struggle a little bit in my opinion, just because your weapons and equipment are very expensive, same thing with your fighters. So if you lose a fighter or lose equipment, it's going to be quite costly for your gang. Another consideration to take into account, of course, are whether you want to be Archeo hunters or Malstrain allegiance when you actually join up with the campaign. And when you join the campaign, you actually have to pick a side. It's either Archeotech hunters or Malstrain allegiance, and depending on which side you pick, you have a series of buffs as well as some handicaps that you have to face as a player. For example, if you're an Archeotech hunter, you get the Abyssal Ferryman alliance with your gang, so you get a free skipper as well as rig hand as well as a vehicle as well. On the other hand though, they're only around for 2/3 of the campaign, so that's something you do have to worry about. Whereas a Malstrain allegiance actually gets 400 plus credits to use for mounted fighters as well as for vehicles, so there's some pros and cons for both those as well. At the same time, madness rules also plays another huge effect for this as well. Typically speaking, Malstrain actually have a little bit easier time with the insanity rules, whereas when it comes to Archeotech hunters, they have a little bit easier time with trading as well as recruitment. So it's a little bit of a situation where you gotta pick out which one is actually most beneficial to you and then plan accordingly. Now, when it comes to Goliath gang specifically in the Hive Secundus setting, you actually have really good strength and really good toughness. So because of this could really play to your strengths in the Underhells campaign setting. It's actually kind of perfect for you because most of your fighting will be done in close quarters battle, either within shooting ranges of the 12 inches or within 6 inches, or primarily through close combat. And because you have such high strength and high toughness throughout your gang, it actually works out for your benefit. You are the most close quarters battle oriented close combat gang playing in Necromunda with a lot of things to buff those abilities, so because of that will be towards your benefit. Now, I will warn you, you will struggle with visibility down in the Underhells, but that's perfectly fine though, because a lot of your weapons aren't all that long range anyways, so that's not going to be a huge problem for you too much. And because of that, with this playing into your strength, you're playing on the tabletop is not going to be too complicated. The only real complications you'll run into is whatever scenarios throw at you in that campaign setting. So let's talk about the gang that you will be playing in this campaign setting. I call it the Stimpunks, and they have a pretty aggressive playstyle. They're really good at close range shooting, close combat primarily. So you want to kind of get up to your faces, up to your opponent right in the face, and kind of smash them in the face with your weaponry. Lots of medium to short range shooting throughout the gang, and a lot of powerful close combat attacks as well. Now your gang will be a little on the smaller side. That's because Goliath gang is a little bit more elite, so do keep that into consideration when you're looking at these rosters. And speaking of which, let's talk about the Archeotech Hunter Allegiance list. This one's going to be your leader. It's going to be a guy named Gygos the Kim Fiend. It's going to be your Forged Tyrant. It's going to cost you 220 credits. It's going to be armed with furnace plates as well as a Crumpet River Cannon. He's also going to have an axe for a backup weapon as well as commanding presence. Now the furnace plates gives you a nice little 6-up, 5-up armor save, and the Crumpet River Cannon, the reason why we're taking this weapon is because one, it's a very powerful shooting attack, but secondly, it has blaze with it as well. And the reason why that's important is because if you manage to ignite your opponent with the blaze characteristics, you illuminate the battlefield, makes it easier time for you to shoot at your targets at distance. Plus, the Crumpet River Cannon is actually no slouch either. That axe gives you +1 in your close combat attacks, and the commanding presence skill gives you larger group activations. Your Forge boss is going to be a character named Chugger Knox. He's going to cost 205 credits. This character's got furnace plates. He's also packing a grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades. He's also got an axe for a backup weapon for close combat. He's also got photo goggles so that we can see in all visibility conditions, as well as a Nerves of Steel skill, because your opponents will be trying to shooting at this guy trying to pin him. If he manages to pass a cool test, he'll escape pinning, and he can go and fire with that grenade launcher. Now, grenade launcher, of course, is a great general all-purpose weapon to use, especially in Underhells. My recommendation to you is to actually get some things like stun grenades, for example, so that we can use it for concussion against your opponents, and also cause all kinds of harm to your enemies as well. Your next champion is going to be named Fleshstick. He's going to be a Goliath stimmer. He's going to cost you 80 credits. He's got furnace plates as well as paired pulverizers. So you're going to be using this guy in close combat quite a bit. He's also got the Nargos skill as well on top of that. So that way you can actually just charge in close combat, fight people with those paired pulverizers, and then move on, of course. And that Nargos skill is going to be really great to use in case you get hit and you get pinned. You can actually get back on your feet and then, of course, charge into close combat, which makes this fighter even deadlier. After that, you have a couple of fighters named Work or Crawl. Is going to be your Goliath Bruiser at 130 credits. He's got furnace plates as well as a combat shotgun and an axe. Axe gives you a 5-up strength close combat attack. Plus that combat shotgun is no slouch either, so that way you can use it up in close distances. And then we have another bruiser named Buzzard. Buzzard's going to cost 115 credits. This guy's got furnace plates as well as a bolt gun. Mounting out the rest of your list, of course, we got Mallet, which is another bruiser. This guy's costing 90 credits. He's got furnace plates, a stub cannon, as well as an axe for a backup weapon. And then, of course, we have Grizz, which is going to be one of your Forgeborns. He's going to cost 55 credits. Only kind of armed kind of simply with furnace plate, stub gun, as well as fighting knife. Unfortunately, we couldn't squeeze in any close combat weapons like a rock saw or a storm welder. We just didn't have the credits for that. And then, of course, we're going to have a bully named Twisted Gun is the name of the character. It's going to be costing you 55 credits with the furnace plate. He's got a stub gun as well as an axe. And we're also going to take a rogue dog for your list called the Organic Mechanic. It's going to cost 50 credits with Last Pistol Medicaid Kit Medicaid skill as well as the Patch Up skill. So that way you can take care of your fighters in case any of them suffer a critical injury. And that's going to make up your list for this one. So now that we're done talking about your list, let's talk about your Abyssal Ferryman team that you're going to have. Now, for your Abyssal Ferryman team, I suggest taking a Survivor Enclave Abyssal Ferryman team, just because they have that ability to act as a rogue dock for your gang, and like I said before, because you have to worry about recruiting your fighters so much, keeping your fighters alive could be your #1 concern. So having a rogue dock as well as the Survivor Enclave is a good way to kind of double dip to kind of protect your fighters in case they suffer critical injuries in your campaign setting. Now, that being said, your Ferryman Skipper is going to be a character named Craxton Dunwall. He's got a 4-inch win allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 3 strength and 4 toughness. He's got 2 wounds, 3 initiative, 2 attacks, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 5 intelligence. This character's going to have a mesh armor with the armor undersuit, giving them a 4-up armor save. They're going to be equipped with a crude long rifle with photo goggles so that they can shoot at long distances, because long range shooting is the weakness in your gang. So we're going to supplement that by using this bristle fragment team to do that. Plus, not to mention, the crude long rifle is a great long range shooting attack and is also useful in close combat as well. We're giving this character a respirator to deal with any kind of environmental effects, as well as a grapnel launcher so that way they can draw up to vertical distances to snipe down your enemies. We're also giving this guy a drop rig so that way he can descend just as quickly, so that way he can get back to the ground level. And we're giving this character fast shots so that we can fire twice with that crude long rifle. After that, we have Dowd the Whaler, who's going to be your frame and rig hand. He's got a 3-inch wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 4+ ballistic skill, 4 strength, 4 toughness, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 2 attacks, 8 leadership, 5 cool, 6 willpower, 7 intelligence. This character's going to be armor flak armor for 6 of armor save. We're also giving this character a long rifle with infrasight so that we can definitely see in all visibility conditions and fire up to targets up to 48 inches away. He's got a stub gun with dum-dum rounds for a backup weapon, as well as fast shots so that we can fire twice with that weapon. Your custom move is going to be called the Wormwood Express. It's going to have a stub gun for the driver, as well as fast shots so that they can fire their weapon twice, as well as driving a custom rig. The custom rig will have tracked locomotion in order to deal with any kind of dangerous terrain, as well as a crash cage, escape hatches, and small transport cage to protect your vehicle crew as well as your fighters. It's got a redundant drive system in case you take a penetrating shot to your drive system. It's also got tire claws to give you better handling, and a nitro burner to mitigate that -1 to movement for that tracked locomotion. And it's also got grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades to deal with any kind of threats that might be coming your way. And that makes up your Archeotech Hunters list for this video. Now let's talk about your Malstrain Allegiance list. Your Malstrain Allegiance list is going to be exactly the same as your Archeotech Hunter list, minus the Abyssal Ferryman team, because you are a Malstrain Allegiance, you don't get access to that, but you do get 400 credits for vehicles as well as mounted fighters, and that's where the difference is going to be between these two lists. So because you have 400 credits to purchase vehicles as well as weapons, we have 2 vehicles you're going to have. The first one's called Desolation Jones. It's a Goliath road thug. It's going to cost 195 credits, and this person's fighting armed with a stun gun, and they're also driving a Goliath Mauler equipped with twin-linked bolters, because twin-linked bolt guns are absolutely fantastic weapons, and they cause all kinds of pain and harm against your enemy as well. Your second vehicle is going to be called the Mortarfire. It's going to be a Goliath road thug. It's going to cost you 205 credits. This guy's also packing a stun gun, and they're also driving a Goliath Mauler with twin-linked grenade launchers with frag and crack grenades, because that's also the Pwn as well. So think of using your Goliath road thug with the bolt guns in order to take on soft targets, while you use the crack grenades from your other road thug from the Mortarfire to take on vehicles or higher toughness targets. And that's going to be the vehicles I recommend you take for this list. Alright, so let's go and talk about your Secundan Incursion gang, and this is where you're going to be led by an Aura Spy Hunter. This character's name is Ron Kaladar Ranlows. It costs 385 credits. He's going to be an Aura Spy Hunter with an Aura Spy Hunting rig with twin power talons as well as twin bolt launchers. We're giving him full goggles so that we can see in all visibility conditions, and the gunslinger skills so that we can fire his weapon, both of his bolt launchers without suffering a -1 to hit penalty on top of that. This guy can do it all. Close combat, powerful shooting. He's just an absolute wrecking ball of a person. And because of that, however, though, because he is so expensive, it's going to take your smaller gang already and make it even smaller, if that makes sense. So that's something you do have to worry about with this list. For example, we kind of had to take out a lot of characters in order to make this thing work. So let's go and talk about exactly what your fighters will look like. So the rest of your gang is going to consist of a couple of fighters. We have Chuggernox, your forge boss, who's armed with a grenade launcher. He's making return. Same thing with Fleshstick, your Goliath stemmer with his paired pulverizers. Rocker Crawl, your Goliath bruiser armed with a shotgun, also makes return. Same thing with Mallet, the guy armed with a stub gun. We did drop the guy armed with a bolt gun though, so that way you can afford your Aura Spire Hunter. Grizz, your Forge War, makes a return, and same thing with Twisted Gun, your Bully, he also makes a return as well. And once again, your Abyssal Ferryman teams give you your Survivor Enclave. You're definitely going to want that because we had to remove the Road Dock in order to get that Spire Hunter in the list. Graxon Dunwald, your Skipper, makes a return. Same thing with Dowd the Whaler, your Frighead, he also makes a return. And same thing with the Wormwood Express, which is your Ferryman Steersman, it also makes a return as well. Now, your Malstrain Corrupted Gang is also another gang option that we also have as well, where you can actually include Malstrain Gene Stealers in this gang. So, once again, guy goes to Kim Fiend, your Forge Tyrant. He makes a return, but this time, though, we're replacing one of your forge boss Chugganox with the Limb Taker, which is a Malstrain gene seal at 200 city credits. This guy's got mesh armor, razor sharp claws, venomous bite, as well as a bio booster. It's got the dodge, evade, nerves of steel, as well as rain of blow skills. So the Limb Taker is going to live up to his name, running around just chopping people down with those horrible weapons of his. So once again, Flesh Stick also makes a return as well for this list, same thing with Worker, Crawl, as well as Buzzard, and they're doing exactly the same roles as before that we mentioned earlier in this video. However, we did change up your rest of your list a little bit. We have Mallet, which is going to be one of your bruisers that will cost 90 credits. Still armed with his furnace plate, stub gun, as well as axe. However, we got two new fighters. We got Stuka, which is going to be one of your Malstrain brute scums that costs you 45 credits, armed with the last gun. And then the Scalp Taker, which is another Malstrain brute scum costing 45 credits, who's armed with the auto guns. These guys are way cheaper and easier to recruit for your gang than the actual different Goliath fighters we had earlier, and so in this case we're just kind of having these brutes come being around in order to make a numbers game for your gang. And once again, our two vehicles, Desolation Jones as well as the Mortifier, they both make a return for this list as well, driving their Goliath Maulers, equipped with Twin Link Stun Bolters, as well as your guys' Twin Link Grenade Launchers with Frag and Crack Grenades. Alright, so in conclusion, the Underhells campaign does offer a brand new set of environments as well as a new set of challenges for you to take your gang through its paces. And so because of that, if you want to play this game, just remember to watch out for those environmental effects as well as warming horrors. And remember, because you are playing a Goliath gang, close quarters battle is going to be your friend, and that's exactly the type of situation you'll be finding yourself in more often than not, especially when you're fighting in the Underhells. So there you guys have it. That's good to do for this video. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. You guys' input is valuable to us as always. We will catch you guys in the next video. I am Commander Cheapskate. Peace out and stay classy.